I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Dante Fabro of the Nashville Predators.
This is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace Aros of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get started on the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, first, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show. Once you get educated about the show, that's when you click on that merchandise tab. Take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, all of our different special event t-shirts, and so much more. All the gimmicks you've come to know, love, and expect from Renegades of Puck are still available on our online store. Whether that's socks, throw pillows, wall arts, bed sets, makes no difference to the Renegades of Puck. Something like 88 different items in our online store. It's best said that we've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this operation, so please jump in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck. You can find us on X and Threads. You can find us on Instagram. You can also find us on TikTok and Facebook. So again, please support your Renegades of Puck on social media. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it doesn't take you but a second, but it sure goes a long way to helping us out here in the trenches. YouTube, that is our biggest push right now. We are looking for new Renegades to jump in the trenches and subscribe to our channel. So please check out the Renegades of Puck on YouTube. You can catch full episodes of the podcast. You can also find breakdowns and segments, recaps, previews, all of those right there on easy to find and utilize playlists. So again, check out our YouTube channel and be a good Renegade friend of the show like Carlos out there in Memphis on our Western Frontier. We sure do appreciate all of you checking out the YouTube channel. It is the future of all podcasting to have video as a part of your podcast. So we need the support and to bolster that channel, and we need to do that starting right now. Stick taps, love, and respect, Renegades. We sure do appreciate your help with that. Venmo, that's how you can support the show. Just go to Venmo and search Renegades of Puck or scan the QR code that is currently on your screen. Thanks to generous Renegades just like you watching right now, we have been able to create this entire operation, and we sure are appreciative of the support. Again, you can support your local Renegades by going to Venmo or scanning the QR code that is currently on your screen. Listen, I know it is time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods. It is time for operation number 898. That is right. It is time for show number 898. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in fourth place in the Central Division after 76 games skated. The Preds have a record of 44, 28, and 4. 92 points has the Predators 6 points shy of third place, which would be an automatic qualifying playoff berth with a head-to-head game coming up against that team, the Winnipeg Jets. The Predators are also 8 points clear of the closest team behind them, the fifth-place St. Louis Blues. So the Predators find themselves in quite a unique cushion with 6 games to go. Wild card being the most important thing to talk about. We'll update all the standings here in just a moment. On the road, which is where the Nashville Predators' next game will take place, they have a record of 22, 12, and 3. The Predators have scored 250 goals now on the season. They have given up 231. That is a goal differential of plus 19. Promised standings update now delivered. Dallas Stars currently in first place in the Central Division, and looking like the Dallas Stars may pull away and win this thing. 105 points. The three-team weave has subsided a little bit here in the final games of the season. Colorado Avalanche are in second place in the Central Division with 102 points, 3 points behind Dallas. Winnipeg Jets in third place with 98 points, have finding themselves 7 points out of first place and 4 points behind second place, which would be home ice advantage in the 2-3 matchup. So those three teams that I just mentioned, first, second, and third place, all skated in the same amount of games at 76, also now have all clinched their playoff berths. Final seedings still to be determined. The Nashville Predators, the first team on the outside, looking into the top three in fourth place with 92 points. They are 6 points behind the Winnipeg Jets with a head-to-head coming up before the end of the season. The St. Louis Blues are in fifth place with 84 points, 8 points behind Nashville. That is of critical importance, and you'll understand more of why in just a second. The Minnesota Wild are in sixth place with 81 points. Not yet eliminated, but they are on the precipice of their season coming to its conclusion. Like the Arizona Coyotes and Chicago Chicago Blackhawks in 7th and 8th place, 67 points, 49 points, and finished for the year. The wild card standings in the Western Conference, very interesting developments. The number one wild card team is still the Nashville Predators with 92 points, but the LA Kings have crept up now in the second wild card spot with 91 points. So first and second wild card still to be determined over the final handful of games. On the outside looking in, it's a long shot now for the St. Louis Blues, but they are still technically alive. The Minnesota Wild, the same thing, a longer shot, 84 points for St. Louis. That puts them 7 points behind LA, 8 points behind Nashville, and Minnesota is 10 points out with just a handful of games to go on the season. No doubt their elimination is coming very quickly. For the Nashville Predators, the week ahead also wraps up the regular season. The Nashville Predators, after wrapping up this game against the Islanders, they will go to New Jersey and face off against the Devils in Newark on Sunday. So a back-to-back right here in the Northeast. Come back home for a huge tilt against the Central Division rival Winnipeg Jets. Depending on how the next 2-3 games work out, that could be a very, very important game. On the 12th of April, the Predators are at Chicago Blackhawks, and then on the 13th, back home versus Columbus Blue Jackets. So another back-to-back, that time on the road and then at home. So 2 back-to-backs coming up in just the final couple of games for the Predators. And then that Columbus Blue Jackets game, by the way, is the last home game of the season for the regular season for the Predators. Jerseys off the backs that night. And the 15th of April is the final game of the regular season. That's at the Pittsburgh Penguins. At this point in time, it's looking like the Preds will probably have their playoff position secured by that point. We'll see how this wild card race continues to shake out. That's it for the Nashville Predators regular season schedule. There are just 5 games left after this game at the New York Islanders. Now, speaking of the New York Islanders, Preds have faced off against the Isles once this season. It was at Bridgestone Arena. It was on January the 13th. It was the Predators scoring a 3-1 victory. UC Saros won 24-25 and got the win. Evangelista, Parson, and Carey had the goals for the Predators. Sorokin in net, 25-27, took the loss. Pajot got the only goal for the Islanders. Second and final regular season meeting between the Preds and the Isles. Now, the Isles on the other side of the ledger have a whole lot to play for as well. 34-27-15 on the regular season. That's 83 points overall. Third place in the Metropolitan Division, but they are hanging on to that spot by just the narrowest of margins. Tiebreakers, as a matter of fact, is what has them third in the Metro. So the Islanders also very much involved in a very close wild card race and third place in the Metro. 17-10-10 on home ice. 226 goals for, 251 goals against. Minus 25 is their goal differential on the season. Now, the Isles have been hot as of late. Let's go back and talk about the most recent stretch of action and talk about their previous 5. On the 28th of March, it was a 3-2 win at the Florida Panthers. On the 30th of March, a 4-1 loss at Tampa Bay. On the 1st of April, a 4-3 overtime win at Philadelphia. Going back home on the 2nd of April for a back-to-back scenario, a 2-1 win versus the Chicago Blackhawks. And most recently, for April the 4th, a 4-2 win at the Columbus Blue Jackets. Sorokin gets the start, picks up the victory, 25 out of 27. When it comes to the NHL rankings and the numbers between these two teams in this matchup, it is the Nashville Predators ahead in the goals for category, 3.26 per game, is 12th best in the NHL. The Islanders are at 2.96 goals per game. That's 23rd best in the National Hockey League. Goals against category, it is the Predators leading this metric as well, 15th best in the league at 3.04. The Isles at 22nd in the league at 3.25 goals against per game. The Nashville Predators are number 10 overall in shots on goal, 31.7. That number has ticked up as of late. The Islanders 30.2 shots per game is 19th overall in the league. In the shots against category, the Nashville Predators 30.6 is 20th. The Islanders 32.7 is 29th. When it comes to the power play and the penalty kill and special teams battle, the Predators ahead in the power play, 20.7% is their conversion rate, 18th overall in the NHL. 52 conversions on 251 power play opportunities. The Islanders only 2 spots behind, 20.5% is their conversion rate, 20th overall in the NHL. They've converted 44 times on 215 opportunities. So the Predators have converted 8 more times on the power play than the Islanders have on the season. This is one particular category where the Predators are rarely ahead of their opponent, but there are actually several spots ahead of the Islanders in the penalty kill. 76.7% is the Preds kill rate, 24th best in the league, but 54 power play goals against is still a very, very high number. The Islanders penalty kill rate is 71.8%. That is actually last in the NHL, 32nd overall, and they have given up 59 power play goals against. Again, it is rare that the Predators are ahead in both of the special teams metrics of their opponent, but the Predators do find themselves in a good spot in this particular matchup. However, you cannot just take these pieces of paper and lay them down at center ice and declare a winner. You got to go out there and play. And the Islanders, fighting for their playoff lives with a lot on the line, are not going to be easy. These numbers are just indicative of what the season has been like, not necessarily how the next 60 minutes of hockey is going to go. When it comes to the individual statistics and scoring leaders for each of these teams, Matt Barzal has always been a world-class distribution service, and he continues that role for the New York Islanders this year. But 23 goals is also a very nice number for him. 55 assists, 78 points. Always an impressive player and always dangerous against the Nashville Predators. Dobson, 9 goals, 58 assists for 67 points. Bo Horvat's at 32 goals and 34 assists for 66 points on the season. Nelson at 30 and 31 for 61. And Palmieri, 25 goals, 21 assists, 46 total points. Over on the Nashville Predators side of things, the visiting team, Philip Forsberg, has now put up the second best season in Nashville Predators franchise history for total points with 87, which is where he currently sits. His 43 goals represents a tie for the first all-time in franchise goals in a single season. 43 goals, 44 assists, 87 points on the season. You remember there was a moment just a few weeks ago where Philip Forsberg dipped below a point per game pace, went out 87 points in 76 games. The captain, Roman Josi, is leading the NHL among defensemen in goals with 20. You add 57 assists to that. You have a total of 77 points on the year. Nyquist is at 22 goals and 49 assists for 71 points. Another impressive season and free agent signing by Barry Trotz in his first year as a general manager. O'Reilly's at 25 and 38 for 63. Tommy Novak, all he does is make plays for 40 total points, 15 goals, 25 assists on the season. Sorokin went 0 for 1 against the Predators earlier this season, 25 out of 27, taking a loss back on January the 13th. Overall, though, on the season, 24, 19, and 11, and 908 save percentage, of 3.02 goals against average, and a victory in his most recent game at the Columbus Blue Jackets, going 25 out of 27. UC Saros on the season, 33, 23, and 4, a 908 save percentage, a 2.82 goals against average, 3 shutouts on the season. Also coming off a victory in his last game, picked up a victory against the Islanders head-to-head earlier in the season, 24 out of 25 in that same game on January the 13th. That's got you all set up for the Nashville Predators at the New York Islanders. It's the first night of back-to-backs. Preds will face off against the Isles, then head to Newark, New Jersey to take on the Devils before coming back home to face off against the Winnipeg Jets. A busy couple of days on the calendar for this Nashville Predators team. Let's go back and talk about what happened most recently at Bridgestone Arena against the St. Louis Blues. It's called the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap, and it's coming up next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap. We go all the way back to April 4th, the year 2024, when the Nashville Predators were welcoming in the St. Louis Blues to close out the regular season series against their Central Division rivals. Head coach Andrew Burnett deploys his line combinations and defensive pairings in the following way: Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist; Zucker, Sissons, and Beauvillier; Jankowski, Novak, Evangelista; Smith, McCarron, and Sherwood. Your defensive pairings are McDonough and Josi, Luzon, Carey, Stastny, and Shen; UC Saros, gets the start and end. It's just 15 seconds into the first period where we find UC Saros making his first save of the game on Neighbors. It's also the first shot on goal of the game. But then 31 seconds into the first period, it is the captain, Roman Josi, responding to the previous game immediately with his 20th goal of the season. In 31 seconds in the period, he pulls the trigger off of the rush, giving the Nashville Predators a 1-0 lead on home ice. 50 seconds into the first period, UC Saros comes up with a save on Kairu's backhand. So in less than a minute, we've seen some intense action already. A 2:49 into the first period. Now Binnington comes up with a save on Gus Nyquist at 4:22 of the first period. We find our first special teams action as Colton Sissons is off to the box. 2 minutes for hooking, and the St. Louis Blues are about to clock in for some work. UC Saros comes with a save on Thomas, and then Saros comes with a save on Falk. Saros would then follow that up with a save on Shen, and then make one more save on Shen before the end of that penalty kill for the Predators. So Ben not break in this particular scenario. But back to 5-on-5 hockey now at 7:27 in the first period. It is Saad with his 26th goal of the season, tying the game up at 1 apiece. So the Blues continued that momentum off of their power play and then get the goal at even strength. No challenge on the play, but it did seem that UC Saros was prevented from moving across to make the save. The Nashville Predators not risking the challenge nor the 2-minute minor on that one, so the goal stands 1-1. 8:08 in the first period, UC Saros comes with a save on Buchnevich at 9:33. Saros a save on Blaze at 11:43 now, just past the halfway point of the first period. Saros comes with a save on Jordan Kyrou at 13:32 of the first period. Saros comes with a save on Blaze, plus the follow-up by Hayes in a mad scramble. The Nashville Predators remain composed until the puck is out of harm's way. At 14:36 of the first period, it's Binnington coming with a save on the captain, Roman Josi. 14:38, O'Reilly and Krug off the box, 2 minutes each for slashing. It was when Binnington made the save on Josi just 2 seconds earlier that O'Reilly did the flyby and tapped his old teammate on the back, definitely trying to get under his skin as Binnington is prone to having freakouts. So O'Reilly trying to bait Binnington ends up baiting Krug. The two of them chop each other with the sticks, and we move on to 4-on-4 hockey. It would be the St. Louis Blues, though, getting the best of the action here during the 4-on-4. Saros comes with a save on Falk, then a second save on Falk before coming up with a third save during this 4-on-4 scenario on Saad. Back to 5-on-5 hockey at 17:06 of the first period. It's Binnington coming with a save on Beauvillier at 18:23. Binnington another save on Shen, and the Preds at least break the St. Louis Blues pressure for a moment or two here. 19:15, the first period, though, it's Neighbors hitting the post for St. Louis. We hit the end of a fairly intense first period, intense pressure by the St. Louis Blues, that is, as they generate 20 shots on net. The Nashville Predators with 10 shots on net, but we are at an even score. We go over to the second period, and we find 30 seconds into the period. So again, the second period starting off quickly like the first period. It's Saad off the box, 2 minutes for slashing, and it's Philip Forsberg picking up his 42nd goal of the season on the power play. It was a wrist shot from the left circle, and it beat Binnington clean to give the Nashville Predators a 2-1 lead. Philip Forsberg now 42 goals on the season. The 137 mark of the second period. It's Sherwood off the box, 2 minutes for cross-checking, putting St. Louis back on the power play. Saros comes up with a save on Saad, and that would be it for the power play for the St. Louis Blues. At the 3:57 mark of the second period, Saros comes up with a save on Hayes at 4:06. Binnington comes with a save on Tommy Novak at 5:23. The second, Saros comes with a save on Tarashenko, plus the follow-up, and this was an incredible save sequence by UC Saros on the back post. Perhaps the save of the night between both of the goaltenders. 5:43 now of the second, Saros a save, this time on Buchnevich, plus the follow-up. So the Predators under intense pressure here during the 5th minute of the second period, and UC Saros is holding strong. Things would calm down for a couple of shifts for the Predators before at 8:28. Saros would have to come up with a save on Saad. 10:07 now, past the halfway point of the game. Binnington comes with a save on Zucker. That led to a big scrum after the whistle. The Nashville Predators definitely trying to get under the skin of the St. Louis Blues. 12:09 in the second period. Carey off to the box. 2 minutes for high sticking. UC Saros comes up with a save on Krug. That would be it for the St. Louis Blues power play. The Nashville Predators PK would do an outstanding job there. 14:23 of the second period. Now Saros coming with a save on Hayes at the 16:11 mark of the second period. A big moment in the game as Luke Shen is called for 5 minutes for boarding. That play would be reviewed. It would be reduced to a 2-minute minor. That was the correct call, as the St. Louis Blues player was clearly losing his balance and there was no injury on the play. 5-minute major rescinded to a 2-minute minor. UC Saros back to work, coming up with a save on Buchnevich. Saros then coming up with a save on Falk. At the 18-14 mark of the second period, UC Saros comes up with a save on Hayes. 18-16 of the second. Toropchenko's off the box. 2 minutes for roughing on Luzon in the offensive zone after the whistle. Kind of a bad penalty right here because Beauvillier is going to cash in for the Nashville Predators with his 5th goal of the season, his first as a Nashville Predator, and he needed that one. Rebound jam at the back post after the Nashville Predators were just hacking and whacking away trying to get it. The puck squeaks free, and Beauvillier puts it in there at the back post and with authority, and also celebrated with authority, and he deserves to do so. First goal since being acquired by the Nashville Predators. That's a 3-1 lead now for the Preds. We at the end of the period. The Nashville Predators are being outshot 35-20 through 2 periods, but they are leading by 2 goals. We go to the third period, and we find ourselves at 3:05 of that period, and UC Saros coming up with a save on Saad before at 4:09, McCarron gets his 12th goal of the season, and it was a wrist shot after keeping the puck in that beat Bennington again cleanly. Michael McCarron making a big play right here to the Nashville Predators, an insurance goal. His 12th of the season gives the Nashville Predators a 4-1 lead in the third. At 4:55 of the third period, Saros comes with a save on Hayes. 5:14, Bennington, a save on Jankowski, and then at 6:21 of the third period, it's Neighbors scoring his 27th goal of the season for the St. Louis Blues. Nashville now leads 4-2 in the third period. St. Louis has a pulse. 7:02 of the third period, Saros comes with a save on Letty at the 7:25 mark of the third period. It's Luzon off the box. 2 minutes for roughing on Thomas after Thomas slashed Saros. That also got called for a 2-minute minor. 4-on-4 hockey. Saros comes with a save on Buchnevich, plus the rebound follow-up by Shen. Another big save sequence by UC Saros. At 8:59, Buchnevich comes away with a 2-minute tripping penalty. Bennington would have to come up with a save on Tommy Novak ×2 at close range right here. Nashville Predators unable to capitalize those, so we return to 5-on-5 hockey. That's where we find ourselves at 12:08 of the third period, with Bennington coming up with a save on Yossi at 14:24. Bennington with 2 massive saves on Colton Sissons right there at the top of the crease. Sissons jams away not once but twice. Bennington keeps the puck out of the net and keeps the Blues alive at 17:30 of the third period. Luzon's off the box. 2 minutes for tripping, and that's where we're going to find Kyrou coming up with his 26th goal this season. It was a 6-on-4 goal. Wrist shot, bar down, beats Saros to make this game 4-3. We continue on with the empty net scenario, and at 18:16 of the third period, we find Philip Forsberg skating into the puck and finishing the playoff for his 43rd goal of the season. That empty net goal also represents tying Matt Duchene for the all-time franchise single-season goals record at 43, and it makes the game 5-3, which is honestly more important. 18:51 of the third, Forsberg picks up a penalty. 2 minutes for high sticking. He was definitely pissed about that call, but seemed to be the right call. Jankowski picks up a shorthanded empty net goal from outside the zone, his 7th of the season. That makes it 6-3 in favor of the Nashville Predators. The final seconds would tick away, and that would be your final score at Bridgestone Arena. The Nashville Predators defeat the St. Louis Blues 6-3. They get outshot 47-31. They sweep the regular season series against the St. Louis Blues. They inch ever so much closer to getting their playoff spot clinched, and they also push the St. Louis Blues ever closer to getting that little E next to their name. With just a handful, single-digit number of games left on the season, the Nashville Predators came away with a victory at a very important moment in a very important game on home ice. Dramatically outshot. Again, 47-31, 20 shots on goal for St. Louis in the first period, 15 in the second period, and then 12 more in the third period. UC Saros was dynamic. He was incredible. He was everything you could ask for in a starting goaltender in this one. This was not an easy one for UC Saros, especially the first 25 minutes of this game before the Preds started to break it open, pile up some empty net goals to make the score look a little more lopsided late. That's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap, full analysis, and so much more coming up next, right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Welcome back in Renegades of Puck podcast. Let's get into the analysis portion of things. That was the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Stick taps, love, and respect to our fantastic partner, Rebirth Sports. Sure to appreciate those guys. UC Saros in this game, 44 out of 47, his highest workload of the season. 19 out of 20 in the first period. 15 out of 15 in the second period. Incredible in every way. Highlight reel saves throughout the game. And it was UC Saros that withstood the pressure of the St. Louis Blues while the Predators were finding their footing. This was not the same Preds team that played toe-to-toe against the Boston Bruins just the previous game. This was a Preds team that, frankly, after they got the first goal, after that it was all St. Louis Blues for about the next 25 minutes of game play. For the Nashville Predators, it took a while for them to really get their skates under them and finally get themselves ahead in this game, and they extended the score at the end with some empty net goals that made the score look more lopsided than this game really was. UC Saros is the singular reason the Nashville Predators won this game. Again, 44 out of 47, 19 out of 20 in the first, and 15 out of 15 in the second period for his 33rd victory on the regular season. We also started the analysis portion of things with the skaters exactly where we left off. We were quite critical in our clinical analysis of the Captain Romagnosi in the previous game, his missing of an empty net and his pinch leading to a shorthanded goal. Well, you knew he would respond, and we said he would respond. It's very rare that Romagnosi is responsible for the Predators losing a game, but he was in the previous game. He was certainly not going to be in this one. Just 30 seconds into the game, the tone setter with that goal, just a huge, huge response from the previous game, and the Captain Romagnosi coming out and doing what star players and leaders and captains do. He stepped up and made up for his mistakes, and he got the Predators back going in the right direction. Outstanding tone-setting goal before everybody had to buckle in and watch UC Saros go to work for the next almost 25 minutes straight. Philip Forsberg, 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points. I know one of the goals is an empty netter, but that doesn't matter. 43 goals is what it leads to. That's tied for the franchise record with Matt Duchene. There is absolutely no doubt over the final 6 games that Philip Forsberg is going to break that record. And the thing I want to talk about was Philip Forsberg has just been so good and so strong and so on fire as of late. We made the reference during the preview of segment that there was a moment just a few weeks ago where Philip Forsberg dipped below a point per game, and it looked like Philip Forsberg's season was starting to slide. He was getting a lot of shots on goal, but he wasn't cashing in any longer. And then Philip Forsberg just broke out and has been one of the hottest goal scorers in the NHL ever since that time. And now he sits at 87 points in 76 games. 87 points, by the way, also passes Matt Duchene for the second best season all time by a Nashville Predator in points, behind just now Romagnosi's 96. The best overall season by a forward on the Nashville Predators, and the 43 goals, of course, ties him for the all-time franchise single season goal lead. There's no doubt he's going to break that. And the question, I put it down, I just scribbled it down because kind of going through, here's Philip Forsberg with another 3-point game as the stretch is going on here, just point scoring streaks, goal scoring streaks. 87 points. Is 96 points possible? Is Philip Forsberg capable against the Islanders, Devils, Winnipeg, Chicago, Columbus, and Pittsburgh of scoring 9 more points this season and getting to 96, which would tie the franchise record with Romagnosi? That's something that's fascinating. He may also see some time as a healthy scratch if the Predators wrap up their position because of the ongoing injury that's kept him out of practice, but it's certainly not slowing him down or hampering. As a matter of fact, he's making the case to possibly never practice again. If he keeps putting the puck in the net, he should just make a deal with the coach. Says, "Coach, I keep scoring, I don't practice," right? Philip Forsberg, outstanding game, 3 points. Nyquist also 3 points, 3 assists, 71 points, world-class distribution service. And Gus Nyquist has found a home with this Nashville Predators team, and he has found a home on that first line, and his career is finally blossoming in the way that many people thought that it would. He had one really good season before this, but injuries have slowed him down. Everybody knows the story, and Nyquist has just been automatic this season. He's been so consistent. So Nyquist with 3 assists now, 71 points on the season. That is third on the Nashville Predators in scoring. That's impressive. O'Reilly puts 2 assists in, 23-22 in total time on ice, led the Nashville Predators in forwards. Big game versus his old team. He was also playing some mind games, slapping Binnington on the back with the stick as he waves by. It was a great game for O'Reilly. Great to see him back on the score sheet. Great to see him back producing. His offensive output has certainly dipped as of late. So good to see him get 2 points. So the first line in this game has 2 goals, 6 assists for 8 total points. Outstanding job by the Nashville Predators. Also, when we get to the box score later, you'll hear their time on ice was also quite high compared to several other forwards on the team. Beauvillier gets his first goal as a Nashville Predator. Working hard, going to the hard areas, finds the loose puck, slams it into the net, and then celebrates with his teammates. His first goal as a Nashville Predator, only his 5th of the season. That's a pretty low goal output for Beauvillier, but hopefully this is the one that gets him back in his groove, gets him comfortable, because where Beauvillier becomes the most important part of the story for his season is when it comes to playoff time. He has always been a big-time and important playoff performer, especially back in his days with the New York Islanders. That's exactly why Barry Trotz went out and got him at the trade deadline. He gets that goal, gets himself on the board for the first time with the Predators, and hopefully that is a good momentum-building moment. Whether it's a momentum-building moment, whether it leads to more success or not, congratulations to Beauvillier for being the latest Nashville Predator to score a goal in franchise history. Let's hear from our good friends at Stripe Digital. Then we'll come back. We'll get the good cold hard numbers known as the box score. A couple of things we talked about on the last show we'll be able to update, and the Predators corrected one of those major flaws from the previous game. Find out what that is next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way, from startup to full-time operation. Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions.
Welcome back in. Nashville Predators defeat the St. Louis Blues 6-3. Let's get to the good cold hard numbers in the box score. It was Philip Forsberg with 2 goals to pace the Nashville Predators. Beauvillier gets his first goal as a Pred. Jankowski also picks up another goal on the season. Great job by Mark Jankowski. What an excellent addition to this Nashville Predators roster. McCarron picks up another goal on the season. The captain, Romeo, with the tone setter early in the game, picks up a goal. And the assist side of things was Nyquist leading the way with 3. O'Reilly had 2. Sherwood had 1. Forsberg had 1. Evangelista also chips in with 1. Ryan McDonough picks up an assist on the defensive side of things. Shots on goal. Captain Romeo leads the way with 5. And then we see Philip Forsberg with 4. 3 from Beauvillier and 3 from Tommy Novak in this game. When it comes to blocked shots, 3 from Stastny and 2 or 3 from Romeo as well. So Stastny getting on the board again. Another good, impressive game for the young rookie defenseman for this Nashville Predators team. Honestly, it's getting hard to take him out of the lineup. He's playing some really good, solid hockey. He may have skated the least amount of minutes amongst the defensemen out there in the rink in this game, but he is playing good when he's getting his opportunities. When it comes to the physical component of things, Luzon's got 5 in this game to lead the Predators. Sherwood has 3, so Luzon continuing to run down and look for that all-time NHL record for hits. Already the Predators franchise leader. When it comes to the time on ice leader, it was Ryan O'Reilly putting up huge huge minutes against his former team, 23-22, and it was Philip Forsberg at 20-54. Nyquist had 19-35. So the first line absolutely takes up tons of minutes. Matter of fact, this is the most amount of players I've seen in single-digit time on ice for this Predators amongst the forward grouping in some time. Beauvillier at 9:24, Evangelista at 9:54, Novak at 8:58, and Zucker at 8:40. So the Nashville Predators went two lines heavy throughout the majority of this game. When it comes to the defensemen, 4 defensemen over the 20-minute mark, and that is high. Roman Josi, 25-24 overall, McDonough, 23-31, Carrier, 22-29, and Luzon, 20-46. The third defensive pairing, only 12 minutes for the pair. When it comes to the power play time on ice, and this is what I wanted to correct and what I teased earlier, the power play in the last game was abysmal for this Predators team. This game, 2 out of 3, and helped the Predators secure the victory. And it was 3:07 in total time on ice for Luke Evangelista, 3:18 for Nyquist, 3:06 for Roman Josi. Again, 2 conversions on the power play. When it comes to the penalty kill, the Predators were 5 of 6, also had an empty net, shorthanded goal. The power play goal they gave up against was a 6-on-4 goal. A little bit of difference when it comes to the discussion. So the PK was also very solid. So the special teams for this Predators team was a big difference from the game before against the Boston Bruins. Penalty kill, time on ice leaders, they deserve some respect right here. 4:13 for O'Reilly, 3:30 for Smith, 4:35 for Carrier, 5:06 for Ryan McDonough. Some other things falling out in the box score. The Predators face-off winning percentage 55 in this game. They had 19 hits, 19 block shots. Both of those numbers an uptick from the previous game. 6 takeaways, 12 giveaways. A little sloppy on the puck at times in this game, especially in the first period, the beginnings of the second period. But UC Saros bailed the Predators out in almost every single one of those instances. 19 out of 20 in the first period, 15 out of 15 in the second period, 44 out of 47 overall. 3 goals against an in-game save percentage of .936, 35 even strength saves, 9 power play saves. Impressive stuff by the starting netminder of the Nashville Predators, UC Saros. That's going to do it for the box score. As a matter of fact, that's going to do it for operation number 898. Let's close this one out by saying that was a fine response. The Nashville Predators, coming off of a 3-game losing streak, had certainly given themselves some lessons to learn. You cannot get in a special teams battle with the Colorado Avalanche. You cannot take anybody lightly like the Arizona Coyotes, and you certainly have to seize every opportunity against a good team like the Boston Bruins. Predators putting all of that together, and it may have taken a little while before they got their heads right and got their skates underneath those heads, but once they finally did against the St. Louis Blues team, they played an exceptional hockey game, winning 6-3 on home ice. I know 2 empty net goals make the score seem a little bit more lopsided than it truly was, but at 4-3, the Nashville Predators had played an excellent game. They got out ahead early. They played from ahead. They got an exceptional game from their starting netminder, UC Saros, who is capable of winning and stealing games at any time versus any opponent, and he did that against the St. Louis Blues. The Predators have not relied on UC Saros for that heavy of a workload the entirety of the season, and they have really not asked UC Saros to steal a lot of games. Let's face it, UC Saros wasn't good enough for large stretches of the season to steal a bunch of games. He had that one critical stretch when he was stealing every game, but outside of that one stretch of hockey, he hasn't really been counted on and relied upon to do that. He did that in this game. So a fine response by this Nashville Predators team, an excellent victory, and they inch themselves ever closer to clinching a playoff spot, which is something nobody thought coming into this season was possible. They also step on the St. Louis Blues and push them 2 points further back, pretty much making sure that it's down to just Nashville and LA trying to figure out the positioning of who's in the Wild Card 1 and Wild Card 2 spot, with the rest of the teams just awaiting the blossom of their little E here at springtime. That's going to do it for Operation Number 898. Sure to appreciate each and every one of you back-to-back this weekend. Islanders, Devils, we'll have it all broken down. We'll have it all covered, and we'll get shows out there and content out there across all of our different platforms. Again, check us out on YouTube, and we're going to try to build that platform up. We're going to try to make it bigger than we ever have before. So we would appreciate your support over there. Check us out on YouTube. Thank you so much. Stick taps, love, and respect, Renegades. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier.